Experience Karen Hunter
in a completely different way.
Karen Hunter is awesome. The podcast.
If you like me on SiriusXM Urban View Channel 126, you're gonna love me. And Karen Hunter is awesome. Hey, this is Karen Hunter, host of the Karen Hunter Show on SiriusXM's Urban View. Karen Hunter is awesome is an actual podcast to bring heat and energy and knowledge and power. A 1-2 punch that I don't think you get anyplace else. Tell the truth. Check out the podcast wherever you get your podcast. You will not be disappointed. Multiple Obie award-winning actor, and you could feel the thespianism from the screen, from the first scene that this brother shows up and then tries to whoop Will Trent's ass, and Marla Gibbs is his grandmama, and it's just a beautiful thing. And he's a thug. He's a thug that wears nail polish and lipstick. I'm confused by you, but I love you. I love you. Let me welcome for the first time, Mr. Antwayn Hopper. Hey.
What's good?
Okay. So, Antoine, Rod. Okay.
Nice to meet you.
So when you got, I'm in love with Will Trent, the show, all of the actors. It is so black. It's Atlanta. Sonia Sones. I mean, it's all the things. The depth of the acting is just incredible. The dog. I'm in love with Daddy. Daddy, the dog is the star. So when you got the script, Antoine, coming from the Broadway space, and it said it's a thug drug dealer who's also, he wears nail polish and lipstick and makeup, and he has a child, and Marla Gibbs is your grandmother. What did you say?
Well, I didn't know any of that. I just knew the script. And to be honest, this has always been a dream of mine. I'm a military brat. I'm from Topeka, Kansas, but I was born in Wiesbaden, Germany. And I have an older brother, and he actually served time in prison, whether or not it was fair or not, but he was a blood. And so I was, I idolized my brother, even though I was a musical theater dude. I never had to really fight because nobody messed with me because I'm AJ's brother. And speaking of AJ, his eldest son's birthday's today. Shout out to AJ Jr. But I always base all of my characters off someone in my family. And I'm thankful that this is a mix between my father and my brother. So my friend reminded me 10 years ago, I said, I wish there was a role that I could still be a man and I could be gay and I can be strong and handle mine, because that's Antoine. Yeah. And then all of a sudden this shows up. When I tell you God makes no mistakes. Wow. And then Ramon told me first day, he's like, Marla Gibbs is your grandma. I'm like, what? And he's like, and just so you know the backstory, y'all, I did McCavity and Cats. I left Cats. The one that happened.
The longest running Broadway play.
No.
Oh, okay.
The one that was at Promen Arts Center with Andre D. Shields. That was sold out.
Okay. Oh, you like the one that's you gotta say Andre D. Shields.
Well, that's my father. That's my theater father. But
I can see it.
The nails were orange because he's the ginger cat. So when I auditioned, I had hair and then orange nails. And as a man, I do like to look good. But I'm trying to let people know, like, don't test it.
Listen, your character, I'm a huge television file, and True Blood, Lafayette, when he came from behind the kitchen, and when they said, I don't want any AIDS and he two-pieced with a chicken wing, then I said, this man, rest in power, the actor. Rest in power. But when I see you, I see Lafayette. Are you evoking some of that as well, that energy?
I'm not at all. I'm evoking, I'll be honest, Ramon shared with me, and it was a very emotional time. Ramon and Sonia did The Wire, right? With Michael Kenneth Williams.
I knew Sonia did The Wire. Mm-hmm. And then with Ramon, because Ramon's hair was different then. So I interviewed him, and I was like, okay, yes, I remember.
We like to talk. No, yeah. I want to be on your show more. Like, I want to be a co-host, because I think all three of us would make some funny things happen. But listen, Ramon played Michael's boyfriend in The Wire. That was Ramon's big gig. And so when Ramon saw me in person, he got teary-eyed. That we filmed the jail scene first. Just so you know, I left Cats. The next day, I learned that 1, 2, in 3 hours. And then the next day I was filming. So he literally was like, Antoine, we want you. Because at first I was like, yo, what's good, nigga? And he was like, no, bring the softness. And I said, I've been wanting to play a role like this. You know, I went to Carnegie Mellon, and honestly, my whole resume is straight. I only play straight. And because I'm after the story of you can't judge a book by its cover. And as Black people, we know that really, really well. And that's why it's important that Ramon is an executive producer, because he's making sure this is authentic storytelling. Yeah. And he shared with me that, you know, I wanted a Raphael based off of Michael Kenneth Williams, but he said, this is not Billy Porter's pose. This is not Lafayette, and it's not Michael. This is Antwayn Hopper. And I said, thank you. And so they've incorporated, my dad's a trained boxer in the Army. You know, they do various sports, and he taught me and my brother how to box. You know, I've always known how to box, and that's on top of dancing and singing and all that stuff. I've always known how to, and I've seen my brother throw down. So I let one of the writers know, and then all of a sudden we're boxing. This is a dream for someone like me, and I'm just trying to change the narrative. And honestly, it's brought my dad and my brother together. I mean, with me, because a lot of times my brother was like, "Oh, you still doing that acting?" So now he's like, yo, dude, you know?
Yeah,
so
I think it's interesting too, because like masculinity is such a weird spectrum, because now in the NFL and the NBA, they just had 2 rookies, Jared McCain, who played for the Sixers, and then Caleb Williams, who's the #1 pick for the Bears. And they both like paint nails. They both have like TikToks. They do dances. And there were so many people questioning their masculinity. Meanwhile, they're physical athletes that are in some of the most physical sports in the game. But also I feel like they felt empowered to share that. Like they felt empowered to be like, it wasn't fragile to them. I think it's a lot of generational, like looking down and being like, that's different. But I don't think it's so tough. Like, I don't think it's so unusual for the idea of somebody being like masculine and dominant, and also being like, yeah, and I also paint my nails. What's good?
Period. Because we all had to go to the barbershop. We all had to hold our own.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I got a fierce mouth.
When's your birthday?
May 10th, a day after Sonia's songs.
Okay. Yeah.
When's yours?
April 24th. So we will be butting heads here.
No, we won't. No,
in a good way. In a good way. I'm just letting you know. Yeah, we can talk. Rod Morrow is here. Roderick Morrow, the Black guy who tips. Antwayn Hopper. I personally wanted to have you on for the very reason that, you know, this show is so about having these kind of conversations. I think everybody in media, they have these very limited conversations because it's all that people can imagine. But we're all things. And it's important for us to be as full and complete. Some of us are living very tiny lives because of what society told us who we're supposed to be. And these boxes have contained us. And it's up to us to not, in your presentation may help somebody out there be okay with everything. And that's what we're here to do. I was just saying this to a friend of mine today. You know, they were helping somebody through a thing. And I said, isn't that why we're here? Because they were going through the same thing that somebody somebody called them, you know, like in tears. And they were able to help them through the thing that they were going through. Yeah. And it helped them as they were helping the person. And I was like, that's why we're here, not for ourselves.
Amen.
Other people on their journey. And you know, through that exchange, we also grow.
Yes, ma'am. Integrity.
Mm-hmm. Also, when you showed up to the audition, how does that affect how they view the character? Like before you walked in, were they like nails, hair, this, or did you walk in and they were like, that's it, that we don't worry about it, we got you, we gonna see you on set?
Bro, I did my audition in a muumuu with lion print, and I had a bright yellow bonnet on because they said the GBI shows up on Raphael, you know, and he's not ready. So, I open the door like with my muumuu on, and I had hair. So I'm like, I got to wear silk on the head. You know, my mom taught me, a little one too. So when I showed up, she was like, but I made sure I was like, what's good? And she was like,
yeah. That opening scene when Will comes in and y'all are tussling on the floor, fighting, scrapping. It is amazing. We're talking about Will Trent. Ramon Rodriguez is the producer. He is amazing on that. You may know him from The Wire. Sonia Sohn is on it. You know her from The Wire and from The Chi and a host of other things. And now Antwayn Hopper, who I didn't know. I thought you were only going to be on there for one scene. And the fact that you did the prison scene first is really powerful because you act like
Thank
you
you.
can tell
That's
people who just read a script and then they read lines, but
oh
this
wow,
cast is deep. Like I said,
such a compliment
no, it's
coming from
true.
you.
But that's theater, and we're seeing theater actors now show up. So much from Viola to like. There's so many theater actors now in on television, and you can see it. You can see it.
Thank you, Karen. Ramon directed the opening. He directed 1 and 2, and we only thought I was going to do like 3 episodes. And when I tell you, between Liz, Dan Thompson, Howie Deutsch, Ramon, and the rest of the host of writers, they've gagged me. Like, I mean, I can't talk too much about the future, but I'm just like, when I tell you, like when I have to cry on the set or when I get emotional, they be like, like, pace yourself. And I'm like, you don't understand. I'm giving thanks. I give thanks every day. This is, for me, the biggest thing of my career. And, I've been doing this in New York for 22 years. So I studied at Carnegie Mellon musical theater. And that's what it's about. Giving everybody a chance, giving everybody an equal opportunity. And that's what Raphael represents. And I just want to say my brother served 11 years, and now he has one of the top 5 businesses in Topeka, Kansas. He's turned his life around. He Hop to It, construction and concrete remodeling. Hop to It, AJ Hopper. And then my dad and my stepmom have Sylvia Hopper's Kitchen. And then my mom works at Mirrors, and she was actually a foster parent. So it's so funny, the similarities of the story. I get so, and I think about Dorinda Clark's song, I'm Still Here. That's what gets me. I'm still here. And this is like, it's just amazing, it's overwhelming.
We're seeing these moments, whether it's Shirley Ralph, another Broadway diva who is now having her. I'm so loving. Finally, if you've worked this long in a thing, and then to be finally recognized, it's unfortunate we live in a world that is so microwave, so short memoried that. We only value what somebody's valuing right now, which is why I spend a lot of time reaching back and making sure we bring people from the back to the front and center them and throw them into the future, because that's our responsibility too, to throw people into the future so that they never get disrespected. This is your moment. You're in the kitchen with Sonia Sohn. You're in her house, and y'all have a little standoff with Sonia Sohn character, who is the head of the the Georgia
GBI.
Bureau of Investigation. Right. So she is badass. She's got her own boxing room where where you will not mess with her. And y'all have a standoff and she wins.
Did she
you
win?
had to leave.
Did she win?
I don't know. You had to leave.
Well,
You left. You went out of her house.
Hey, if someone's watching your kid and you got a hot day, I'm out. I ain't trying to get out. I'm not trying to take Sonny home. I'm trying to take him. So I needed to leave. Tactics.
Right.
Okay. Oh, I see. You were reverse spinning on her. I don't believe you. Okay.
Okay. Good now.
Okay.
Yeah, we good.
So are the roles coming in now, Antoine?
Out of respect for Will Trent, we didn't audition this whole time, but I will be honest, I was offered something yesterday, but I let them know my loyalties to them. I mean, like, look at what they sent me. Look what they gave me when we wrapped. These are boxing gloves.
Boxing gloves. Everybody signed.
Everybody signed them.
Wow.
Because I wanted pink. My whole thing is, like you said, Karen, I want to go against the grain. Because I'm a man, I was like, can I have pink boxing gloves for something upcoming? And, they ended up going with the other ones, but they gagged me and they was like, but we're going to gift these with you. And we're going to sign them for you. And I was like, what? So, I just came back from Atlanta and that's what they gave me. And Ramon's like a big brother. Like, he pulls me to the side and he takes his time to show me things and teach me things, because we're never too old to learn. And all jokes aside, you don't understand me being here. It's like, I thank you, Karen. I thank you. All jokes aside, I really appreciate it. It's what counts. Integrity. And thank you for that. And you too, Rod.
Listen, I'm glad to be here too. I'll be thinking the same thing every Friday. She don't like being thanked, so then you gotta change the subject and shit. But speaking of which, when you say you left Cats and then and then you said you thought it would just be 3 episodes. So was you walking out on faith? Like I'm leaving Cats, not like knowing that I might not be able to just like slide back in if this don't work out?
Yes, sir. I did. They replaced me. My agent was like, just so you know, Antoine, the Perlman Arts Center, which is where World Trade Center is, this was their inaugural season. You are liable to get sued, and we wouldn't be representing you. I was like, and just so you know, y'all, I got offered the gig. The show's at 8. I got offered at 7:30, and they needed to know by midnight. The show is 2.5 hours, so we had to do the show. So I only had 30 minutes, and my agents were like, they need to know if you're going to do it or not. Or they're going to move on to I said, I'm doing it. And then the gag was the Perlman Arts Center artistic director, Bill Rauch, who is also our director. He called and he said, Antoine, we want you to go. We don't want to hold you back. Wow. And he said, this is for you. So the next day I was in Atlanta meeting Ramon. It was just a dream. It's a dream.
That's crazy.
And
you said you've been doing this 22 years.
I graduated in 07 from Carnegie Mellon University.
Is there any point in that 22 years where you were like, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to make this?
Hold on. Who was the commencement speaker?
Bill Cosby.
Oh,
okay, that's all right. Okay, go ahead, Rod.
It wasn't all bad.
Cosby show still slaps. Different World is on now.
It wasn't all bad.
Hilarious.
Okay, people are they're a lot.
I had to get up and do the Holy Ghost. I'm sorry.
Well, in that 22 years, is there any time that you thought about like giving up this dream, or you got to a point where you were down in?
No, bro. I've lived in a men's shelter. I've had to walk Times Square. I've been fired from shows because of lies. I thought I would never. There were times where I thought I would never work, but I knew I would never give up. And my thing now is you can't deny me. And I think that's okay to know that. You're not going to deny me. I just want an opportunity and a chance. You know what I mean? And I really take that to heart, especially because my dad did 3 tours for this country and we uprooted ourselves. I'm really selfish about that. You're not going to deny me, and I will be seen.
Yes, you will. And y'all, Will Trent is one of my favorite shows.
Wow.
You can catch it on ABC. I catch it on Hulu the day after, because that's how I pay for the damn Hulu. I'm a wife. But let me tell you, Antwayn Hopper, he does not disappoint. Y'all want to tune in, and you will be back, because I want to get into your background on not a Friday, because Friday's light, but I do want to talk about your journey to be here, the men's shelter and all of that.
Can I just say, I really want to say that to the Black youth. That's okay to know your power, and you won't be denied. Don't give up. You got this. It's called the hero's journey.
I love it.
Yes.
I love it. Nice to meet you, Antoine.
Karen, I have a crush on you.
I love it. Get in line.
Introducing a new podcast. Karen Hunter is awesome.
If you like me on SiriusXM Urban View Channel 126, you're gonna love me. And Karen Hunter is awesome. Hey, this is Karen Hunter, host of the Karen Hunter Show on SiriusXM's Urban View. Karen Hunter is awesome is an actual podcast to bring heat and energy and knowledge and power. A 1-2 punch that I don't think you get anyplace else. Tell the truth. So check out the podcast wherever you get your podcast. You will not be disappointed.
Karen Hunter is awesome. A new podcast from Karen Hunter.